Really? I don't think you've all seen this one yet. Oh yeah, it's Adam. The good kitty. This little kitty was chunked out of a window at Walmart from a moving vehicle. So I decided to take him in. And he's a good cat, but he tends to meow. Yesterday, yesterday, when I recorded, he was asleep. Now he's awake. So, yeah, you can sit in my lap, but I gotta have both my hands. Okay, first thing I want to address is I'm not gonna blast the person. They private messaged me on Instagram and was very polite and suggestive, and I didn't ask. Well, I did ask if it was okay if I mentioned them in the video, and I never got a response. So it was, why wouldn't I entertain the idea of shopping local instead when I was talking about the Rocket Bunny kit. You can't get it local. You can't. I literally have. I have to order it off the internet. There are no local shops. I do order local if I can. For example, my Porkio. Might look weird because it has a protective cap on it. But it is a Predator Sport 2. I bought it with the Z3 shaft. But basically this is just a good amateur entry-level cue that Predator makes. My big thing was I wanted the Z3 shaft, which is what I shoot with. Now, I have three options when looking into buying this, or four technically. I could have ordered it off the internet for just a smidgen cheaper. I could have bought it local new. I could have bought it used, or I could have bought the Chinese version. The Chinese version, well, this is $500, or it was like $475 on the internet. The Chinese version was $120. They're identical, minus, there it is, the name. Predator is spelled wrong. Now, I went with the option of paying full price, not just because I wanted to support the actual creator, but I wanted to support local, and the extra money was worth it to me. If I have any manufacturer's defects, any issues, any problems, I guarantee you that the pro shop at the OK Bar in Joplin would have my back. Totally off subject, but I just want to get that out of the way. So now we've addressed stuff from the last episode, let's go ahead and step forward into the very heated pseudoscientific debate of real and fake wheels. Now the reason I say pseudoscience, well I'll get into that in a second, is to define pseudoscience. So, it is a claim, belief, or practice presented as scientific, but which does not adhere to the scientific method. Basic scientific method is you have something you want to say is scientific, and to do that, you have your theory, you run your test, you get your facts together, and do your facts back up that theory? If so, then it is scientific. Now, as more facts come along, as blah 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 blah, does it stay scientific? So on and so forth. If it does not, then it is not fact. It is thrown out or considered still theory. This is actually legitimately pseudoscience. For example, you'll have multiple companies out there, tons of them, that sell the expensive wheels like Rays and HREs and stuff like that say, oh, you buy a fake wheel, it's going to look like this, and they all show the same damn picture of a busted ass rotor wheel. And no facts behind what happened to that wheel. Because I can't find, out of all the pictures, the handful of pictures that circulate out there, busted ass rotas or XXRs or whatever, the ones that I find the actual information behind, for example, one of the big ones going around is a rotor wheel that's all fucked up and blah 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 blah. And it was from a wreck. Happened in a wreck, that wheel hit a curb or a concrete barrier, came apart. Well, that's way outside the normal operating parameters of a wheel. And what irks the shit out of me is they call them fake wheels. Well, right there, that is total false claim right there. They're not a fake wheel. They might be a replica of the wheel that you sell, and you get pissed off because they're selling for $500 while yours are selling for $4,000. But you know, whatever. they're not fake though. So you're making a claim that is legitimately on the full surface wrong. Main arguments is, well, they're made better. Do what? Do you understand the process of an aluminum wheel? Like, do you? Like, I have yet to find one that's not made the same. Take a cast wheel, let's just say. You have an expensive cast wheel, and then a cheap cast wheel. They're still made the same. So argue some more. Okay. Quality of the aluminum. Well, okay, you can only get so dirty of aluminum, so impure of an aluminum, where the bond isn't strong enough to even keep the wheel together. And the first heat process, where they heat up the wheel and then cool it, and that's what makes it actually strong, it'll fall apart, it'll crack, it'll break. And your pure aluminum wheels, what at the highest they can get, what viable is like 97%. You add magnesium, which then weakens it, and they add titanium to it to strengthen it based off of how much they weakened it with the magnesium. So you still have now a less pure aluminum wheel. So what's your argument? Move on. They're made in China. So are your fucking wheels. Keep talking shit. I had a guy actually tell me once my wheels were a piece of shit because they were made in China, and he was driving around on some budget ass fucking Inky wheels. If they're not Inky Racing, they're probably fucking made in the Philippines or China. Yeah, so really? Well, we have better QC. Man. If I can drive down the highway, if I can do my autocross, my track racing, my drag racing, and all this other shit that I've done with my cheap fake wheels, and not die, and not have a problem, not a bent wheel, not a wheel falling apart, none of that shit, well, I say they're just fine. I put them in a ditch at 55 miles an hour. The rear end came out of the ditch. It was really bumpy. I slid, came back. I was dodging a deer, and I didn't mean the wheel caught the edge. There was like when they keep paving the roads out here, that gets taller, and then the ditch, the drop off into the lip before, then you got a couple feet and the ditch starts. The lip gets stronger, and with the car being so low, it actually dropped and drug, and it sucked the rear end in the ditch. Only problem is I sucked part of the freaking road up in between my exhaust and one of the little undercarriage braces on the Z, and I took it down to the exhaust shop, and he pried it up and popped the piece of road out and handed the dude $20 and said thanks for all the help, and he told me I didn't have to pay him, but I paid him anyways because he saved my life. I was about to have a heart attack thinking my car was going to break because it was rattling so bad. And then these wheels, my XXRs, I curb checked the living shit out of it, dodging a I assume drunk driver, going down a neighborhood at 2 o'clock in the morning. And you want to know how I fixed them? A little bit of spray paint. Couldn't tell the difference. I had to sand it a little bit. Now, where I will agree with you is the finishing. My old Graham lights. It was a Australian version of Graham light, but it was still the same thing. It was rebranded Graham light from Japan into Australia back in the mid-90s when they discontinued them, and I bought those wheels for my 240. When I stripped the wheel down, took all the paint off of them, it was beautiful. They were still a work of art. My Rotas, my XXRs, I did not take the finish off of it, but you can tell in the finish that what was underneath it had a lot of machining tool marks. Same as the Rotas. When I stripped those down, you could see a lot of machine marks on them. I didn't care. I bought the Rotas knowing that I was going to strip the finish off of them and repaint them anyways, and I did just that. These, I simply scuffed them. You can see the process in my DIY video. I'll try to card it there. But so what? What I'm saying is, stop this pseudo-scientific bullshit. Like, you people that are spitting this out are the same people that are the call me on my iPhone, text me on my iPhone. It's still a fucking phone. You're the same people. You tell me that your iOS is better than Android. Why? Because every year you have to buy a new phone because the newest version of the operating system they force you to upgrade to makes your phone totally useless? Or it's like every 2 years. You know, there is nothing that your iPhone does that my Android hasn't done for the last 3 years. And my Bluetooth sounds better. My HD calling sounds better. I have lane suggestion, and you don't even have that yet. Yeah, but you're beta testing it. Like, it's the same people. They buy shit for the name. And if that's why you want to spend a shit ton of money for a real wheel while I spend dirt cheap for my fake wheels, then fine. And yes, I would have spent more money on a set of wheels than the, $425 I spent on my XXRs. I would have spent more. I didn't mind spending more. I could have spent more. But I couldn't find the wheel that I wanted, the type of look that I wanted, in the size and offset that I wanted. They didn't make it. XXR was the only ones that made it. So I was limited to them or a custom set of $3,500 wheels. Literally, 3-piece wheels, $3,500. For the size and the offset and all that I wanted. $3,500. Or $500. You know, for example, this was the first render I ever did of the car. And this was done 4 or 5 days after I bought the car. I didn't even have it yet. I was waiting on it. I signed the paperwork and I came home and started working on this. Now, of course, I'm not going with orange anymore because I like the green. I really like the green. But you can see, these are almost identical to the wheels that I wanted to put on the car. And I put them on the car. That's what this whole discussion generally probably boils down to. It's buy what you want. Don't let some company or some douche-waffle on the internet tell you you're going to die because you didn't spend as much as they did. So you're telling me because I have a mid-$20,000 car brand new that I'm going to die because I didn't spend 150 grand like the Joe Blow did on his fucking GTR? No. So, but my thing is, if you want to know something, do the due diligent research. Don't let me tell you anything otherwise. Do it for yourself. Think for yourself. If you want to buy HREs because you want HREs, go right ahead. That's what you want to do. Do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like there's nothing wrong with me buying a set of XXRs. You are entitled to what you want, and I'm entitled to what I want. But these people are not entitled to spreading bullshit on the internet and passing it off as being scientific. I want to see their case studies. Real case study. Don't interview 5 people and say it's a fucking case study. I mean, do thousands. Pull out 1,000 people that have owned Roto wheels. And even go off their opinion. Just the way it goes. I know this one probably, or looks like it's going further than I wanted it to, but I think it was worth it. I enjoyed myself. I hope you all enjoyed watching the video. And again, comment below on your opinions. I'd actually like to hear them. If you're combative, I'll ignore you. It's just the way it goes. So, but other than that, have a good whatever time of the day it happens to be. I'm never going to be able to say that, am I? But, yeah. Thank you for the support, and let's double last episode's. Let's go for 4 likes, and I'll try to come up with a topic for another.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school, so you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.